Hi everybody, this is Allison at Fanshawe Pioneer Village, and this afternoon we are going to be making a balling cup. Now, most of you, when you've come to the Pioneer Village or have been to another Pioneer Village somewhere else, may have played with a balling cup before. It's generally a wooden toy that is on a handle, and it essentially looks like a handled cup with a ball attached. Today, we're going to do a different version of this, one that is paper, and you can make using only things that you probably have readily accessible at your house. I will give you a couple of other ways that you can do this at home as well at the end, but the first one we're going to do is a little bit more hands-on. So, the first thing you need is a piece of paper. Now, I recommend using a piece of paper that's only about 1/6 of the size of a piece of regular paper when you're doing this. Oh, my camera fell. 1 second here. So, how do you get from one whole big sheet of paper to this? It's up to you. But to show you how to make this, I'm going to use this big piece of paper first. So, I would like it to be fairly square. It doesn't have to be exact. So, what I'm going to do is I will make my square of paper. The other things that you need during this is you are going to need a piece of string, a button, as well as some scissors. I have big scissors here, but I also have some safety scissors. So, I will be using the safety scissors, but I had the big scissors more accessible just in case, because a lot of the time it's a good idea if you're going to be using scissors to make sure that you have an adult or an older sibling around just in case you need a hand, and you want to be making sure that you're using scissors that are the right size for you. So these are actually probably pretty good size for what we're going to do today. Now I am going to be taking apart off this strip of paper. So you can see I'm reusing paper. So I went from having my big folded piece of paper. I am going to fold down a corner so that the sides are almost even, and it's going to look like a triangle with a bottom on it. If I fold this, it's going to be almost just a triangle. So I want to get rid of this part. So I can use my scissors. I'm just going to rip it off. I have my triangle. So, good. And my triangle. If I open it up, I have a square. So, I have my 2 squares of paper. One big one so that I can show everybody a little bit easier. So, what you want to do with your little square of paper is fold it into a triangle. So, I'm going to fold this one. Folded into a triangle. Okay. Little triangle, big triangle, so people can see. The next thing you want to do is take these 2 sides, so not the pointy open bit, not the open part, the sides, and you're going to fold them in to the middle. Doesn't have to be exact, just fold them over a little bit. One side, fold over the other side, just like that. So, hold it over top, hold it like that. Okay. So then you have what looks almost like a house. So let's make this into the house again. So here's my little piece of paper. I'm going to fold it, fold over one side. Doesn't matter which side goes first. Remember, it's not the open bit. It is the sides. Fold it over. And take the other side. We'll fold it over. So we get what looks like a little house. My little house here. My big house. What I want to do now is I want to make it so that if I want this to be a ball and cup, I need to make this into a cup. So I have my house, it's my start. What I need to do is make sure that it can be open. But if I pop it open like this, the sides come off. So what I need to do is sort of secure the sides. And the easiest way to do that is to use the opening, the two pieces that are on the opening. And what you want to do is fold them down to help you keep them in place. The other sides, you can fold the back down. And now you have almost like another little square. And now what you do, push open a nice little cup. Okay? So let's do this again with my little piece of paper. I have my little house. You want to fold this at the top pieces down. So we're going to fold down the front. And we'll fold down the back. I'll make us a little tiny cup. If we push on the sides, so we push on the sides, we put our finger in, makes us a nice little cup. Okay. Now, my cups are all made, but if you want to, you can unfold it, or before you even fold it, you can color it, you can draw designs on it, you can decorate it however you want, but make sure you draw on both sides so that you have coloring all over your cup, because some parts are from one side of the paper and some parts on the other side. So you want to color all over the place. Now I have my cup, but I need my ball. So you have a couple of options. I said I'm going to use a bead. Not a bead, a button. I'm going to use a button. But you can use a bead. You can use a little scrap of tin foil, or if you made your cup out of a big piece of paper like I did originally, you can use this. You can use this scrap of paper. So what you can do is you want to put a little hole in your cup. It can be on the side, can be on the bottom. I recommend on the bottom because that's where the ball's normally attached when you're making a real paper or a real ball and cup, like the ones that you see from Pioneer times. So that's what we'll do. Now, to make a hole in this, you can use the end of your scissors. You can use a pencil, if you have a pencil or a pen around. I'm going to use the end of my scissors. Okay. But I recommend not using scissors. That was silly. Don't use scissors. Use the pencil. It's easier. So just poke a hole through your paper. There's a rubber stopper on there. That's not going to help. Just poke a hole through your paper. You might need to ask an adult for help with this, but that's okay. That's what adults and older siblings are there for, is helping you out. So, poke a little hole in your paper. I'm going to do the same thing with my little one. Poke a little hole in my paper. Just like that. Just a little tiny hole. And I'm going to tie my string through it. Now I have a nice long string because this just happened to be the size of string that I had laying around at my desk. So I'm going to tie my string through the hole. Again, you might need to ask some help depending on how dexterous you are today. But it's always nice to have a hand. So just tie your little knot. Double knot it so that it stays nice and secure. Then you have your string attached to your cup. Just like that. Now this is an awful long string. It just keeps going and going and going and going. So I'm going to cut this because I do not need my string to be this long. So I'm going to cut it about this long. Okay. So this is the length of a paper, like a full sheet of paper. But however long you want it to be is perfectly fine. It's completely up to you. So I'm going to use my little scissors here. And we're going to cut it. So I have my little cup on a string. Much more reasonable now. Not quite as long. So I have my button. My button is going to act as my ball on this one because my string is so thin. So I have to thread my button onto the string. I'm only putting it through one of the holes. You just need to do one. You can tie the button on. Nice and simple. Just like this. Tie on your button. It is now attached. And then you have yourself a nice little ball and cup. So you can open it up. And what you want to do is try and catch your ball in your cup. Just like that. Okay. So just go like this. Now the trick is you want to keep it held upright. So kind of like when you're eating an ice cream cone. You don't want to tilt your ice cream cone over. You're not going to get your ball in the cup, just like your ice cream's not going to stay in the cone. It's going to fall off. So you want to keep it upright. You swing it and catch. And then you swing and you try and catch it. Okay. Now, I had said we have other options. So we'll use my big ball and cup here. So if you want to use a bigger ball and cup, you can use yarn. You can use ribbon, whichever you have around. I have lots of yarn, so I'm going to use yarn for this one. Again, don't need a piece that's too long. Just however long you like it. And you're going to, you can tie again through the hole in the bottom. Tie on your string. Let's give it a nice double knot. Just like that. And you can use a piece of paper. Just want to crumple it into a ball around the ends of your string. Nice and tight into a tight little ball. And then you have another ball and cup. So again, swing, and you try and catch it. Okay. Another thing you can do, if you don't want to use a piece of paper, is you can use an old reusable cup that you might have lying around. Same idea. You can decorate this, color it all over, make it really special, make it unique to you, and then you can put a hole through the bottom, tie a knot with your string on the inside, and then you can use something like a bead as your ball instead. So you would just poke a hole, using again with my pencil, poke a hole in the bottom of my cup. Can use this time. Let's use some ribbon. So I have some ribbon as well. Whoop! My camera shifted again. Too many things going on this table. Have my piece of ribbon. Let's fix that. Okay, have my piece of ribbon. This is probably way too small for this, but make a knot in your ribbon. Have to make a big knot so that it doesn't come out. Okay. And then you want to tie your bead on. Now this bead could be any size. It could be like the kinds of beads you use to make bracelets. You can use, if you have one of those old macrame things around, you might have to ask what macrame is, but if you have an old macrame thing around that have big beads on it, or you could use like a toggle from an old coat. We have my other strings attached here. Go away string. So you have a ball and cup again, and you swing, and you catch it. Okay. Now, you can also, if you are a very good pioneer, and you have a tiny little enamel mug, you can do the same thing, and you just tie. We're going to reuse this one. You can tie your string onto a mug. Now, you can do the same thing if you have a sippy cup, a plastic sippy cup that has a handle on it. Tie on your ribbon, just swing. I'm not as good with this one, apparently. This one's harder. I think it's because the string is at the top, so you gotta go put it at the bottom. Again, keep it straight up. You don't want to spill out your ice cream. So, there you have it. All different kinds of ways that you can make a ball and cup. A lot of them are ones that you can use things that are laying around. You can use, like I've done here originally, use some paper, use some string, use an old button. Lots of things come with extra buttons that you probably will never use ever again. So ask mom or dad or an older sibling if they've gotten a new shirt or a jacket or something with a button on it, and let them get the button from them, and you can use a little button. You can make yourself a little pocket size ball and cup. I hope everybody's having a really good afternoon, and as I promised in the top part, I will put instructions on how to make your little paper ball and cup in the comments below so that everyone can see them at their leisure. They'll have written out instructions, but to quickly go over how to make your ball and cup. Again, you want to fold your paper. We're just going to rip this. You want to fold your paper into a triangle. Okay, so a square of paper, fold it into a triangle, fold the sides inward, fold down the tops, and you get yourself a little cup. Okay. So, have everybody a great afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow when we will be doing some more stories and things. And later in the next couple of days, we'll have maybe another craft or two. So we'll see you later, and have a great day.